కైలాసము తానేయగు కరుణగంగ తానేయగు పాల జలధి తానేయగు బాలచంద్రుడి తడేయగు విషము మృంగి అమృతమొసగు వేల్పు పెద్ద శివుడితడు. అలాంటి మహనీయమూర్తి శివానందమూర్తి గారి మార్గదర్శనంలో సమాజంలోని అన్ని సమస్యలకు మూలం వ్యక్తుల్లో పెరుగుతున్న స్వార్థం, ద్వంద్వ ప్రమాణాలే. తన స్వయం కృతాపరాధాల వల్లే మనిషి సమస్యల వలయంలో చిక్కుకుపోతున్నాడు. దేవుడి నుండి, ప్రకృతి నుండి మనిషికి నిజానికి ఎలాంటి ఇబ్బందులు ఎదురు కావటం లేదు. పక్కవాడు బాగుపడకూడదనే అసూయ, ద్వేషాలు మనిషికి ప్రశాంతతను దూరం చేస్తున్నాయి. మనుషులు పడే కష్టాలకు మనుషులే కారణం. అందుకే మనుషుల్లో మార్పు రావాలి, ఆధ్యాత్మిక చింతన పెరగాలి. ప్రశాంత జీవనం గడపాలంటే అందుకు తగిన సాధనాలు భక్తి, ఆధ్యాత్మికత లేనంటూ మానవత్వాన్ని, సేవా తత్పర లక్షణాన్ని, దేశభక్తిని మనందరికీ మనస వాచ కర్మణ అవలంబించేలా స్ఫూర్తిని అందింపచేస్తూ ప్రతి మనిషిని పరిపూర్ణ మానవుడిగా తీర్చిదిద్దే ఒక మహోన్నత యాగాన్ని ప్రతిదినం ప్రతి క్షణం నిర్వహిస్తోన్న, పరహితమే పరమాత్మ మార్గంగా పయనిస్తోన్న సద్గురు శివానందమూర్తి గారి మనసు లోతు ఉన్న విలువల్ని చాటి చెప్పేందుకు, విస్తరింపచేసేందుకు ప్రయత్నం చేస్తున్న సంస్థ సనాతన ధర్మ చారిటబుల్ ట్రస్ట్.
Towards it. That particular responsibility makes us to feel, behave and function as a citizen of that society. And how good a citizen you are is how lively you are in contributing to the well-being of that society and also adding a value to your successful life.
Over the years, Sanatana Dharma Charitable Trust has honored 86 great personalities belonging to different spectra and walks of life.
We have been felicitating them with Sivananda Eminent Citizen Award for their significant contribution in their respective fields and displaying their eminence as citizens.
Let us all get together in inviting the dignitaries up onto the dais. As we both vocally call upon the dignitaries, we would like to request all of you to join us with your applause.
He has received many awards all through his career. Due to some unavoidable reasons, he could not mobilize himself here. We wish you get well soon, sir.
Padma Bhushan awardee, a scientist in aerospace technology and a PhD from California Institute of Technology, Professor Roddam Narasimha. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome him. May I request Professor R. Raghavendran, trustee, to escort him onto the stage, please. Dipena sadhyate sarvam, sandhya deepam namostute. Let's start our event by the very symbolic lighting of the lamp, followed by Vedic chanting by A. Ramachandra Shastri Garu. May I request our esteemed guests on the dais to kindly join Guruji in the Jyoti Prajwalanam, please.
Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinamapamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspada Nashranvannotibhis Sedasadanam Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhīrāmamitrayavatu Om Sattvamivatitāvuna Punanto Yatra Dhīrāmanasa Vācamakrata Atra Sakhāya Sakhyāni Jānite Bhadreshāṁ Lakshmirnihitādhivāci Om Gaurī Mimāya Salilāni Takshatyekapade Dvipade Sa Chatushpade.
General K.V. Krishna Rao Garu, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very pleasant good evening and a very warm welcome to you all here. It is a great privilege and honor to propose a welcome address to this august gathering on behalf of Sanatana Dharma Charitable Trust. Our pranams and a very warm welcome to our beloved Pujya Guruji, who has been our inspiration, driving force and guide in all these years. We extend a very warm welcome to General K.V. Krishna Rao Garu, who was kind enough to consider our request and accepted to be here this evening as chief guest, in spite of his busy schedule and pressing engagements. Thank you so much, sir. Hearty welcome to you once again, sir. We are proud to have 7 eminent citizens here among us this evening to receive Sivananda Eminent Citizen Awards. An eminent scientist in aerospace technology, Padma Bhushan Professor Roddam Narasimha, was kind enough to be here this evening to receive the award. Thank you, sir. A very warm welcome to you. We extend a hearty welcome to Dr. Suniti Solomon. She is an eminent microbiologist. She has done illustrious contribution in the research of HIV and AIDS. Madam, a hearty welcome to you. We extend a very hearty welcome to Dr. P.D. Kameshwar Rao, who is a nuclear physicist by profession, but has also done extensive community service. Thank you for being here, sir. A hearty welcome to you. Dr. Y.V. Reddy, ex-governor of RBI, who was instrumental in formulating several important policies to the positive growth of Indian economy, is here. Sir, I had the privilege of attending your motivating, inspiring lecture in Chicago the other day, sir. Sir, a hearty welcome to you. We are privileged to have Padma Shri Professor Harsh K. Gupta here. He is an eminent geophysicist and considered an authority in seismology and earthquake engineering. We warmly welcome you, sir. Here we have an eminent defense scientist, Padma Shri Dr. Vijay Kumar Saraswat, currently scientific advisor to the Raksha Mantri. He has several sensitive and crucial defense projects to his credit. Sir, we extend a very warm welcome to you. Last but not the least, we will profusely thank electronic media, print media, the management of this Tivoli Gardens venue for this evening, and all our guests who graced this occasion by being here. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Pujya Guruji, General K.V. Krishna Rao ji, Chief Guest of this evening, distinguished eminent citizens on this dais, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely happy to welcome you on behalf of Sanatana Dharma Charitable Trust to this annual function of Sivananda Eminent Citizen Awards 2009. On this auspicious occasion, I would like to mention a few words about the trust, its aims and activities. It gives me an immense pleasure to announce that this is the 16th annual awards function of our organization. We are fortunate to have been able to confer this award on 86 distinguished personalities from a widest spectrum of fields so far. And this year, we feel honored by this great opportunity to pay our respects to these great nation builders present on this dais today. As our master always said, one gets indebted to the society or a country by merely being born in it or by living in it. Everyone must strive to redeem this debt by doing his bit to the society, and this is the very purpose of this Sanatana Dharma Charitable Trust. We are a small group of Guruji's followers, inspired by him and supported by all of you, working in this direction. Sanatana Dharma, the eternal value system embedded into the culture of this nation, needs to be protected, propagated to the new generations to infuse a love of their nation, motherland, and achieve the ultimate peace and harmony. We believe that love for a country cannot be taught. It must either be inborn or cultivated. This can happen only when we get to know our country and its greatness, and in other words, its great people. One of our humble gestures directed towards this goal is to recognize eminence in such great personalities, honor them for their services to the nation before the public at large, citing their achievements so that we know what we are as a nation. With this in mind, we have instituted two awards known as Sivananda Eminent Citizen Award and Ganga Devi Eminent Citizen Award. Apart from this, we celebrate two festivals, Janmashtami and Sri Ramanavami, every year, during which distinguished scholars, poets, writers and people who rendered selfless service to the society are honored. Fine arts have a major role in storing and perpetuating the cultural heritage from generation to generation. To serve the cause of music and dance, Andhra Music Academy was formed in the year 2000 as an offspring of Sanatana Dharma Charitable Trust. Ever since its inception, the Academy has been conducting annual music festivals featuring performances by veteran, upcoming and budding artists, seminars and demonstration lectures by senior scholars for the benefit of the upcoming. During these festivals, the Academy honors chosen eminent artists and confers the titles Sangeeta Vidyanidhi and Natya Vidyanidhi. During these music festivals of 2009, conducted in the month of January 2008, these titles were conferred on Sri Yella Venkateshwar Rao and Srimati Shobha Naidu. The Academy also runs free music classes in a few selected schools for the talented children. The Academy will be organizing its 10th annual music festival for 8 days from 31st January to 7th February 2010 in Hyderabad. This year, all the concerts and performances will be by the recipients of Sangeeta Vidyanidhi and Natya Vidyanidhi during the past 10 years. And we were allotted an excellent plot of 2 acres on the beach road, Visakhapatnam, for a concessional price. I am happy to announce that we got the same registered during the month of March 2009. We are planning to build a center for culture, for housing and administrative office for the trust, a permanent museum on culture, a state-of-the-art auditorium, an open-air amphitheater, a library and a recording studio and many other facilities. Messrs. Chubb Consultants of Bombay, a leading international architects firm, is working on the plans of this ambitious yet economical project. I am sure it is not going to be too long before we realize this sweet dream. I request all of you to extend your support and guidance to us in all our endeavors and help us to reach the set goals. Thank you.
Hearing is what we do even subconsciously. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let us consciously listen to our Puja Guruji's message, whose words makes itself not just heard but listened.
Respected Chief Guest General Krishna Raoji and the eminent citizens who have been kind enough to accept an honor from this institution this evening, and the dais, ladies and gentlemen. It is a quality of a nation's culture that reflects in honoring the most honorable eminent citizens. The eminence that they have achieved is ascribable to pure, selfless devotion and dedication to the chosen subject with no expectations of any returns. Thus, it is the responsibility of the society to recognize their eminence and express the society's gratitude to them. The other aspect of this is, by honoring eminence, we are inspiring the society. I think most needed thing in this country today is inspiration. One eminent person can inspire 100 persons with some capability to bring their best out in the service of the nation. Eminence is not a choice. Eminence is not a chance. It is the culmination of a long journey in pursuit of a subject of one's own love, dedication, without any expectation. Such attitude is known as tapas in the ancient language of our country. Tapas is nothing but striving for the goal with no deviations, no distractions, no expectations, till the goal is achieved. It could be the vision of the Lord, or next to that, anything that is useful not only for oneself, but what is good for the society, to inspire the society. Thus, this trust is making a small effort in this direction. Thank God we have been encouraged by one and all, either by the eminent people by accepting our honor and invitation, or the people who have presided over this function wholeheartedly, and then the society that has joined their hands to give us a happy clap. Thus way, the great part of this is, it should be the source of inspiration. When we see these eminent personalities, why not every youth be inspired? Why not every citizen should inspire their younger children, sons and daughters, to follow a path of dedication with a goal, totally selfless, materially speaking, noble in aspect, and nobler in the devotion to the motherland itself. I am happy to have this occasion and to sit among them. Although I feel very small in the midst of these eminent personalities, I feel I am doing something to inspire my younger generation, and not to lose their goal in pursuit of a small job or a degree abroad or a position as an executive. They are all too small before such eminence. Thank you all.
As a refresher, let us just look into the awards details. The Sivananda Eminent Citizen Award contains of a cash award, a memento and a citation. The cash award, which was earlier a purse of rupees 30,000, has been increased to rupees 50,000 from this year.
Puja Guruji will felicitate the awardee with a shawl, and our chief guest, General K.V. Krishna Rao Garu, will present the award, that is the citation and the memento, and our managing trustee, Sri K. Basavaraj Garu, will present the rupees 50,000 purse to the awardee.
We also have the LSRK award, which is associated with the Sivananda Eminent Citizen Award every year. May I now request Professor Roddam Narasimha to please kindly come and occupy the ceremonial seat. Mr. H. Krishnamurthy, student of Roddam Narasimha and a faculty of Indian Institute of Science, will read out the citation. Please, sir.
Pranams to Guruji. Sanatana Dharma Charitable Trust. Sivananda Eminent Citizen Award 2009. Citation presented to Professor Roddam Narasimha. An individual's brilliance in education and its application becomes a boon for the society he lives in. His knowledge sheds light like a beacon that beckons everyone to share it. He creates a path where there was none. In Professor Roddam Narasimha, we see a shining example of scientific knowledge of an individual benefiting the society and doing the nation proud. Born on 20th July 1933, Sri Narasimha graduated to BE in Mechanical Engineering from the Mysore University, Diploma and Associateship in Aerospace Engineering from the Indian Institute of Science, and PhD in Aeronautics and Physics from the California Institute of Technology. Dr. Narasimha started his careers in the Aerospace Engineering Department at the Indian Institute of Science and rose to the level of a professor in 1970. He was the Dean of the Engineering at the Institute in 1980-82 and Chairman of the Department in 1983-84. He has made significant contributions to atmospheric sciences and was the convener of the Center for Atmospheric Sciences at the Institute during the period 1982-89. He has held several other prestigious positions such as the Director of the National Aerospace Laboratories, Bangalore, Director, National Institute of Advanced Studies, Bangalore, and ISRO K.R. Ramanathan Professor at the Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research Center in Bangalore. Professor Narasimha has made outstanding contribution for more than 50 years in his chosen field and continues to be very active even to this date and holds honorary professorship in the Center for Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences at the Indian Institute of Science, Engineering Mechanics Unit at the Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research and the National Institute of Advanced Studies. Professor Narasimha is the first occupant of the Pratt & Whitney Endowed Chair in Science and Engineering at the University of Hyderabad. Professor Narasimha also held several prestigious positions abroad, like the Jawaharlal Nehru Professor at the Cambridge University, Clark B. Millikan Visiting Professor at the California Institute of Technology, and Leverhulme Fellow at the University of Adelaide, Australia, to mention a few. Professor Narasimha has made significant and notable contribution during his long and sustained research career and has published more than 250 research papers in international journals and conferences, authored 17 books, and delivered more than 100 keynote talks in distinguished forums. Professor Narasimha has received numerous honors and awards during his illustrious career spanning more than half a century, and his achievements include the prestigious Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize in Engineering Sciences by the Council of
Distinguished awardees and the august audience, I am most grateful to the Trust for giving me this honor and giving me the award, Sivananda Eminent Citizens Award. I feel very humble before such distinguished people who have made individual contributions to science, technology, and I think it's a very symbolic, acknowledgement of the distinguished august presence of the awardees here. I feel most humble. I would only like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to all the gurus from whom I have learned, from the elementary school, high school, college, until today. I have had very eminent gurus. I have been learning from them. I would also like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to all the friends. Some of them are here, Krishnamurti, Dr. Rajarashmi also, as part of my career. And all of them have been great source of support, intellectual, emotional, and professional. And I am grateful to them. It is, in a way, I believe that this award is really in recognition of hard work for a long period of time in institutions on the basis of collective effort to do something to improve the situation. And in this regard, there was a reference in the citation to how we were saved from the financial crisis. I think basically we were saved because we gave greater value to the Indian values. Let me explain in very simple words. The most important problem arose in the United States where people consumed a lot more than what they saved. They went on borrowing, going through the process of Apu Chesu Pappu Kudu, and then they got into the problem. That is simple. Second, if you look at the financial institutions borrowed and went on multiplying financial transactions. Finance for its own requirement than anything else. This whole issue of multiplying and not accounting them properly, calling them derivatives, etc., etc. Again, haddu paddu lekunda poinaru. There was no limit, there was no account. These are the traditional values. Third and most important again is manchi chedu. Basically, it's not mechanical governance standards, but substantive governance standards. And what is really good, what is proper, what is responsible, not just being mechanically ethical. And still, all said and done, I keep telling many of my friends that many people who owe money to the banks in India, so if the non-performing assets in India, in the Indian banking system, they are very low, it's a reflection of the morality of Indians and not the legality of Indians. So I would like to reiterate that a developmental model should be based on fundamental values and good values. And as long as we are able to take care of that. And second, and another thing which has come about very clearly in the context of the financial crisis, and this has been admitted by everyone, including Mr. Alan Greenspan, who believed in the markets and ultimately confessed that he underestimated the greed that was possible among the financial sector. Here, it is said that Mahatma Gandhi once said that on this earth there is enough to satisfy everybody's need. There is not enough to satisfy everybody's greed. The crisis in the financial sector reflects this. The crisis in the climate change reflects this. It's our Sanatana Dharma which should save us from greed and concentrate on the need of everyone, not just us. Thank you.
Adarniya Guruji, Chief Guest of the evening, General K.B. Krishna Rao, distinguished colleagues on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I must say that I feel very honored by the award given to me, and I wish to share it with my family, with my friends, and with persons with whom I work. As a matter of fact, I have been a very lucky person where I had the opportunity of working with some of the stalwarts in earth sciences. It all started with Professor Jagdev Singh, who taught me at the School of Mines, continued with Professor B.P. Saha, and then I came to Hyderabad and I had Hari Narayan to lead me. Went to USA, had Professor Lennisman, and in the later part of my life, I have got Dr. B.P. Radhakrishna in Bangalore, who have inspired me and make me see that things are so easy to do. Sometimes we feel that challenges are too much. But I think what the Guruji said, that if you have the inspiration, if you have the trust, and if you have the commitment, the tapasya, things can happen. And I think I was very lucky in having situations and circumstances in which this could happen. I'll just give you a few examples. Talk of setting up the first permanent base in Antarctica in 1983-84. In one Antarctic summer, the chances of success were given as 15% by the British Antarctic Survey. But we succeeded in doing that, and it all happened by the kind of commitment that the young people who were mostly from army with me, from Kerala, who worked day and night. As a matter of fact, I had to switch off the generators in the night so that they could quit working. Otherwise, you can work 24 hours there. And it was said that it was an Antarctic record then. It's an Antarctic record today also, because no other country has set up a permanent base in Antarctica in one Antarctic summer. Let me take some more recent challenges. We had on 26 December 2004, the most astonishing tsunami, claiming over 250,000 human lives globally. And in India, it created a lot of problems in Tamil Nadu, in Andaman Nicobar, and many other areas. And the question was that can India take up this challenge and set up a tsunami warning center which can match or do better than anywhere else? And I tell you that people talk of bureaucracy, people talk of blockheads, but the same government, the same prime minister, and the same set of people, especially the science departments, the Department of Science and Technology, the Department of Space, all came together, and we have succeeded in setting up one of the best tsunami warning center, which is totally functional now, and it is said to be the best in the world. I feel a special privilege to share these days with Rodam Narasimha, with whom we worked for the Earth Commission. India is the first country and the only country which has got a dedicated Ministry for Sciences. And then we have got people like Dikshitlu sitting here, many other senior colleagues who have guided us into all those things. Let me tell you, we have been talking of earthquake forecasts in the Koyna region, where earthquakes occur in a very small region, and we have succeeded in seeing nucleations which precede these earthquakes. And over the last 4 years, we have made some 12 accurate forecasts, and these are only in scientific journals. It doesn't go to the public or press. And we are able to give the epicenter and the area around it within 2 or 3 kilometers, time duration of 6 to 8 days, and magnitude within half degree. And these are all happening. Only this morning we set up a new program in which we'll be also monitoring the velocities of waves, which is another indication. So we have challenges every day. And sometimes I feel that life has just started for me, because you see new challenges and you see the energy, you see the vigor to do it. And I think if you have a family like Manju, Nidhi, Binu, and Siddharth, Kabir, and friends like, I've got several of them sitting here, Raghurajji, Billo, Santosh, everything can happen. Thank you very much.
Respected Guruji, respected chief guest of the evening, my distinguished fellow awardees, distinguished guests, I see some very eminent personalities in the evening's function today. I see Professor C.R. Rao, I see Professor Dikshitlu, and many who have been instrumental in making this country proud. It's a great honor for me to receive this award today from Sanatan Dharma Charitable Trust. I accept this award with all humility and consider this as a recognition of the outstanding work which has been done by my teams from various national laboratories, large number of academicians from many academic institutions, and my industry partners who have been responsible in development, production, and induction of variety of missiles in the armed forces. Sanatan Dharma Charitable Trust has been rendering human service in spreading the, I call it, dharma of karma, which is not something new to us, because it's Lord Krishna who gave us karmanya vadikaraste. So that's how we have nourished and cherished this particular aspect, and the trust under the leadership of Guruji has been doing a great service in making us, inspiring us to do such things. I have been an engineer who has followed this dharma of karma from the very early days, and it has practically become the way of life for many of us. As an engineer who are considered to be the pillars for building the society and also changing the way of life, whatever we have done, be the railway system, be the communication, be the aeroplane, be the telegraph, be the buildings, the bridges, or whatever it is, it has certainly changed the way of life. Sometimes we say we have progress, sometimes we say this life has, all this development has also created many problems. What you have heard from many of my colleagues today here are probably sometimes the positive part and sometimes the negative part. Negative part is being discussed today at all levels. You just heard of the global warming which is taking place. The positive part is that you have the easy life to do many things what you could not have otherwise imagined, the type of progress which has been made by the humanity as a whole. I won't delve into those aspects, but certainly the challenges which are now coming to the engineers are far too many, because it's the building of the life which we have done today is now the sustainability. That is what we have to look for. We have to start sustaining what we have done by doing things which will reduce the negative factor and which will improve the positive factor. I, as an engineer, would like to, and that to an engineer who has been doing things for the defense, is looking forward to many challenges in the future. Recently, while receiving an award from the Indian National Academy of Engineering about a week back, we all discussed about self-reliance in the midst of all kinds of export control regimes what are emerging. Our aerospace community has done human service by building missiles, building satellites, building aircrafts, despite all these odds. The 21st century is going to look at this in a much bigger way, because these constraints are going to be many, and there are going to be more and more difficulties. How do we overcome all this is a great job which one has to do, and one has to look forward to doing this in a manner so that the country becomes more self-reliant. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to mention, self-reliance is not something which is only to be observed or contributed by a particular department or a set of members of the society. It is the responsibility of all put together. All of you who are sitting here, all of you who are doing something or the other in some form or the other. It is essential that we all join hands together and ensure that these odds, these constraints which are put to us, the technology constraints which are put to us by the developed nations, they are all overcome by the synergy. And what is that synergy? There is only three-step progress which we have to make. Education, ensuring that the engineers who come tomorrow for the 21st century, they rebuild the old ethos of design, build, test, evaluate, and also produce, and all do concurrently. We build managers which are tomorrow going to do high risk and high payoff jobs. We have to make sure that these engineers dwell into those things. And third one, the industry, which has done a human service in this country today, has to now graduate from what we have as a component production agency to a system developer and later on an innovator in various walks. Unless we have these three steps done in a cohesive manner, we will not be able to meet the standards what we are looking at. I will only recite one particular example, how an inspiration given to an industry by Aeronautical Society of India here in Hyderabad has made possible about 40 to 50 small scale industries today are contributing to the cause of missile development and production. Many of the industry partners are sitting here. One among them is Mr. Sheshki Rao, who is here, sitting, who has built an industry in 1954 and practically single-handedly coming from Vijayawada. And today he is that industry, and he at the age of almost 70 bought it up and built it to the level that today it is contributing to many systems which are going into the armed forces. I think this inspiration among the industry partners, among many academicians, all put together can ensure that the dharma of karma is completed in its all respect, and we as a nation are proud of our achievements. Thank you very much for giving me this honor, and I appreciate that Sanatan Dharma Charitable Trust has recognized the work of me and my team members. Thank you.
General K.V. Krishna Rao Garu, former Chief of Army Staff and former Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, to address the gathering. Sir, please.
Your Holiness, Sadhguruji, esteemed awardees and respected audience, I feel honored to have been invited this evening for this auspicious function and to present awards to an array of top-class professionals who have served the nation and brought it great pride. I feel that the awardees selected this time, I have had a chance to look at the lists right from the beginning, are some of the most distinguished among the distinguished. You have heard their speeches, I would say brilliant speeches, and I am sure they would inspire future aspirants to do even better than what they are doing. The selection of the awardees, I feel, has the consent of Sadhguruji, no doubt about it, and I feel we should congratulate him on picking out such people from, I am sure, a long list given to him by the trust committee. I feel that such recognition of merit does a lot, not only to those who have displayed it, but for many, many others in the future. As you know, the nation is going through a difficult time. We have been ruled by alien conquerors for centuries, having had a few great emperors like Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka, Harsha, and so on. But after this long rule, we have had the good fortune of having Mahatma Gandhi to lead a freedom struggle. It was a very hard struggle. He had with him some of the founding fathers of the nation who helped him and the public at large. It was a non-violent struggle, unlike many countries which had to stage bloody revolutions. Now, having got independence, it's not that they indulged in celebrations and other tamashas. The founding fathers have done this nation a great deal from their point of view. They have given us a wonderful constitution which has stood the test of time. They have brought out a system of planning, a 5-year plan kind of thing, which has been working quite well. They have done their best to unite the country. It was a very divided country. I'll come to that a little later. And they have created great inspiration among the people to feel proud of being an independent nation. Now, that's what the founding fathers have done. But I leave it to you to guess how things are at the present moment. I won't like to comment since you are all fully aware of it. There are a few things I feel the nation must do in order to continue to sustain our democracy, which is indeed a great benefit that we have derived out of independence, and sustain it forever. I feel that one of the first things that is required is greater unity and political stability in the country. As I mentioned, we have been conquered, ruled by alien leaders for centuries, hundreds of years. And people must realize the value of that freedom. There seems to be an impression, since we got it by not a bloody revolution, not great sacrifices, that freedom is just like that, nothing great about it. The spirit of appreciating the value of freedom to a nation, the value of independence, must be inspired among all our youth. The question of political stability. We lost independence hundreds of years ago because there was no stability. The country was divided into a number of principalities who were not strong enough to resist invaders, and therefore invader after invader came and conquered the nation. Although some of the invaders settled down in the country, they became Indians and fought the next invader, and so on it went. But now, do the people realize why all that has happened? I feel that our political parties, instead of just indulging in their own personal and party needs, must think much higher, think of the nation first, that we are Indians first and anything else later. That spirit must come into this country, and after all, they are known as political leaders, and they are the ones who must set an example to the rest of the society. The other aspect I would like to stress is economic self-realization. We must, to the extent possible, no country can be absolutely economically independent, but it is something that will help in the build-up and strengthening of the nation. At the moment, we have a fine economist as our Prime Minister, and I'm sure he will do his best. In fact, he has done when the country was in trouble much earlier during Mr. Narasimha Rao's time, and they sorted out the problem of foreign exchange with great merit, and we were out of the problem very soon. But now again, there is recession in the West, particularly in the USA. It has had its impact on our nation as well to some extent. But again, I feel that it hasn't really spread widely among the agencies, and we are not that badly affected. But we have to be cautious about these threats that occur to the nation. Threats are not just military. These are all part of the threats that a nation has to face. We need a lot of investments in this country, but if you read what is happening, they can only take place if the atmosphere is inviting. Everybody criticizes our bureaucratic methods. This has been going on for a long time, and there is no reason why these cannot be set right so that we attract a large number of good investors to invest in our country. We are, after all, a developing nation. The other aspect which I feel is most important for strengthening the nation is advances in science and technology. You have a number of experts here on the stage today, and what they have done was tremendous contribution for the nation's progress. But that's what you want, much more of it. As one who experienced the result of their work by being a soldier in wars and so on, I can say that what we need, which is very essential for the nation, is still not coming out of their hands. They have done very well in missile technology, and I hope they will do even better because our hopes are much greater. But in other aspects, like say the defense forces need tanks, guns, other equipment. Now all these we are importing from outside. It's not a very good thing. In the event of a war, you may not get the necessary equipment or the spares or people who know how to handle the mechanical maintenance part of the thing. So it is necessary that the country must be independent in producing the requirements of the nation and particularly of the armed forces. Yet another aspect I feel is essential is social harmony. It's not very much there. It's lacking, in fact. Every day we are fighting and people are demanding things like sovereignty. There are ethnic differences, casteism, communalism. All this after more than 60 years of independence. And I am sure you will agree with me, it reflects on the leadership, particularly the political leadership. I feel that the sooner we overcome these snags, the better it is for the nation. Having served in some very difficult areas and where people don't belong to the majority community for a long time, I can tell you that the public, the people of those areas, like northeastern states, they are all very small states. Most of them are tribals, and yet they are as loyal to this country as you and me. It's not that they are demanding sovereignty, independence, and so on. They don't know really what these things mean. What they want is really a much greater degree of autonomy. They were neglected during the British period. Indian leaders were not allowed to go into those areas. After independence, our founding fathers were busy settling crores of refugees who have come into the country from the other side, planning and in fact running the nation, and at the same time they had to undertake a war in Jammu and Kashmir. So they feel neglected and that the country is not caring much for them. There were prime ministers like Indira Gandhi who toured extensively these areas. Similarly, in the northwest, you have Jammu and Kashmir. It has a majority Muslim population, but that doesn't mean, maybe it's creating an impression on you, the trouble that takes place there, infiltration and so on. It's mostly by Pakistanis. And the people there, I can assure you, are just as loyal to this nation as anybody else. You may think they are Muslims, so they are suspects. They are not. These things must be realized by the public at large within the country. Then only, and we must do justice to those areas who have been neglected earlier, ignored earlier, and they must get their dues. They feel that much greater autonomy will help them. They have their own customs, their traditions, which they would like to be protected. Now, last of all, one of the most important things the nation has to do is to have really effective armed forces. That gives strength along with the other things that I have mentioned earlier. Now, you have heard during the Kargil conflict, one of the chiefs of that period, when asked a question as to what he would do if the war extends to the entire border, he said, "We'll fight with what we have." It's not a very good statement. I felt so myself. But it is a correct statement that he made, because the armed forces were deprived of their essential needs by denying the necessary financial support. For about nearly 12-15 years or so, in the later period, they must have their requisite necessities, essential necessities. Otherwise, suddenly, wars don't give you much warning. Let me tell you that. Suddenly they descend upon you. As it happened in Vajpayee's time, he had to deploy the armed forces. But of course, he didn't give okay to go ahead. This kind of thing happens, and the armed forces must be in a position of constant preparedness. So you can't say, we can't afford to give you so much money, then you stop the enemy taking up any adventurous activities. It's not our responsibility. If you don't give enough money and equip them adequately, well, you are depriving them of the needs for effective fighting. So this is very essential. It should be a public concern that they are kept absolutely fit and ready. There is a war, they will use it. But we have always said that we will not be the first to use it. It's okay to say that, but then suppose the enemy doesn't oblige you and he uses it, then what happens to this country? And I'm not talking of Pakistan alone. If the enemy can reach New Delhi from his territory, then we should be able to hit his capital as well. If New Delhi is hit, I would like to hit Beijing. I don't see why we should be deprived of that facility. Therefore, what I want to stress is that the governments, whoever it doesn't matter to us which party, the army is very, very secular, I can assure you, and very democratic in their outlook. So whichever party is there, it is one of their primary responsibilities to ensure that the armed forces are fully equipped and kept in constant readiness, but the country should not wage a war or initiate a war, but be prepared to hit back most effectively and defeat the enemy in case he launches an adventurous action. This is very vital for this nation. Now, these are the major things. There are many other things happening. I mentioned about unity and political stability, economic independence to the extent possible, advances in science and technology, social harmony, and last but not the least, the armed forces. I would like to touch on one more aspect. The country fought after independence 4 major wars, one with China and 3 with Pakistan. And in the last one, the 71 war, the armed forces brought great glory to this nation. Now, the adversaries realized that this is a strong country and they cannot take undue risks with it. But yet, over a period of time, although we were recognized as a regional power, I don't see why we should be just a regional power. I am sure many of you would like to see this country as a great power, a superpower. Why not? The potential is there and it can become one. But because of adverse actions after the 71 war, I think we are experts in killing our prime ministers and chiefs by assassinations. Unfortunately, we lost an excellent prime minister, Indira Gandhi, who understood the vital needs of this nation and tried to cater for them all her life. Whatever it may be, the threats are escalating and things like our adversaries not only sticking to the disputed areas, say like northeast and northwest, but if they are intruding into our interior, mainland India, as we call it, and if they can explode bombs in our major cities, including Delhi and Bombay, I can't see any excuse for that. Why is it happening? I keep on thinking about it, but the solution as to why it is happening avoids me. All I feel is that we are not doing our duty to the country, to the people at large, by allowing such things to happen. These can be prevented. You have the resources and you have the fighting elements. It doesn't mean you will involve the army in everything that goes wrong. But there are people, police, paramilitary forces and so on. And not only that, the public at large must cooperate also. These can be prevented if you have the will to do so. As far as internal security is concerned, I would like to mention that the threats to internal security are almost as great as threats from external adversaries. If not more, it may become, if we are not careful in handling these. And I feel that a very sincere, genuine, legitimate approach to our future is very, very essential. There is a feeling, I find, not only in this country, but all over the world, in many other countries, including USA, that defense, actually I don't like the word defense. It gives a very defensive feeling. National security, I think, is probably a better term. But I was talking even about USA, they were not ready for the attacks that took place on American mainland. Such a thing never happened, even during First and Second World Wars. But yet, a third-rate enemy went and posed a grave threat to that nation, which later initiated a couple of wars which are still going on. Now, surely, there is an answer to this. They have set up a homeland ministry. They have taken various other measures. Maybe in the process, they are creating an impression that they are anti-Islam and so on. But what they are doing, or what harm has been done to them, must also be realized by the people at large. They have to take certain measures. And the same happens. Now, if you see the TV yesterday, today, they are talking about attacks on London. And they are quoting evidence which looks quite credible. You never know, it may take place. And they are citing Bombay as an example for that attack on London. So it just shows that security of the nation is as important, if not more, as rest of governance. You may be an expert in economy, you may be a scientific and technological expert, you may be a great socialist, you may be anything. But if you are running the country, managing the country, you have to realize that security is as important, if not more, as rest of the governance. I hope others are learning it, UK, France, USA, and so on. I hope that our country will also learn it fast. Otherwise, you will keep on having these troubles, not just explosions. It is just the start of it. It could be much more violent and much more troublesome for this nation unless people realize, people, particularly those who are responsible for national security, realize it and ensure by taking various measures, irrespective of whether they may create problems for certain sections of the people, they must take the necessary measures to ensure that the public at large in this country do not have to suffer. I want to invite your attention to an article in our Constitution, 51A. It brings out the responsibilities of a citizen. And what comes out of it is every citizen is responsible for ensuring the unity and integrity of this nation, to promote harmony within the country, to help in the security of the nation, to strive hard to reach positions of excellence so that the nation may perform much better in the future, and so on. If any of you haven't seen that article, I suggest to you very sincerely, please read that. It's a wonderful article which lays down the importance of the normal citizen's responsibilities. I think I have spoken long enough. In fact, I wanted to mention earlier in the beginning itself that when Winston Churchill went to his old school and was asked to give a speech, perhaps he was tired, he went up to the mic and he said, "Never, never, never give in," and went back to his seat. I wanted to ask you whether you wanted me to do the same thing. So I apologize if I talked too long. Thank you all very much, and thank you very much, Sadhguruji.
Thank you very much for your valuable address, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, may I humbly request our Pujya Guruji to felicitate our chief guest, General K.V. Krishna Rao Garu.
Selection has been that these were the individuals who are responsible for protecting the nation. Each one of them is a soldier in his own way. Of course, the tallest of the soldiers had just spoken before me, and we have seen him. We are really proud of such distinguished Indians. We have seen these awardees from a Prithvi missile to an individual who's been battling with poverty alleviation, for an individual from aerospace to outer space missions, from banking to agriculture, and from medical practice to research on seismology. What a diversity, but the underlying current is of providing security to the nation. It is thanks to such individuals that all of us are able to discharge our debt, as Pujya Guruji in his address had said, that all of us have a huge debt on us which has to be repaid to the society before we pack up and leave from this world. And Guruji has also said that these are the individuals who do everything to provide a secure environment for the rest of the society to discharge their duties. And such individuals, at least I know very intimately about two of them, have always shunned publicity. They are shy of the cameras. They are always shy to speak about their abilities. They have never spoken what they have done. But such people, there must be some way of distinguishing them, some way of awarding them, rewarding them. As Guruji said, when such people are awarded Sivananda Eminent Citizen Award, there is no greater award than this. We are extremely grateful to Guruji for bringing all of them together and giving them these awards and showing to all the youth here, to the parents here, to the grandparents, that that is brilliance and that is eminence. People have worked selflessly their lifetimes, who have sacrificed their precious opportunities, who have never believed in making money, who are very frank to the core of their personality. Such individuals are shining examples who are usually missing in the awards lists prepared by various bodies all over the place, because there is always a proportional representation in such fora. But here it is only one disproportionate commitment to the country. There is no proportional representation here. It is only the disproportional commitment to the nation and to the security of the nation. We are indeed honored by each of them for their presence here and for the kind of address they have given and how they have told in very brief words their commitment to the cause and how they seek blessings of Guruji even to do much more from now onwards. Like Dr. Suniti was saying, that how it was a noble profession, and as Principal Secretary Health, I can't agree with her more than what she has said. How that society of medical professionals are today turning out into a commercial assembly place. So such has been the change which is going on in the society, and these are the individuals who remind us about the glory that they are bequeathing to all of us in this society. Life is like a running race. I think as seniors, they are waiting to transfer the baton that they have been holding and running the race to the individuals coming after them. It is for us, with the blessings of Puja Guruji, that we march forward, run the race, take the baton and run to the finishing point and make Guruji's dream come alive. Dr. Reddy in his address has also said how when he was protecting the boundaries of Indian currency, the economy, he was not driven by any great economist thinking. He only said, we gave more value to the Indian value system. It is that value system which Guruji is constantly reminding us. We are ever grateful to all the awardees for the presence here. I would also like to thank the previous awardees. Some of them are here. I would particularly remember and mark the presence of Dr. C.R. Rao, who is a great doyen among the scientists world over. The kind of honors that he has received can always make us feel very, very proud. I am very grateful to all the invitees who have come here, the family members of the awardees who are all here. I would like to conclude this vote of thanks. Of course, I would also like to thank the venue management who have been very nice to give this place to us as they always do. I would also like to thank Akshara for giving us their wonderful ideas with the invitation cards. I would also like to thank Srimati Radha and Kumari Shravya for their maiden effort today in conducting the program. Loud applause can give them more encouragement and give them more confidence to do things in future also. I would also like to thank all the volunteers who have come from Vizag, our own family members, who are all part and parcel of this program. I would also like to thank the volunteers of iFocus who are all here, who are helping us to run the proceedings in the usual solemnity and the dignity that Guruji's functions are associated with. I would like to once again thank each one of you here for your presence, and on your behalf, I would like to just convey a prayer to the Lord who is here with us, who has been so gracious to inspire us every year, year on year, and he has been a tireless speaker on Sanatana Dharma, whose life itself is a shining example of how one has to interpret the Sanatana Dharma for the contemporary times. And I am taking this poem from Ananda Lahari Stotram, which has been written by Shankaracharya. It is representative of the fear that is there in the society today. We are full of fears. We are not doing any freedom struggle. We have struggle with the traffic. We are having struggle with race wars, struggle with caste wars, struggle with regional wars. We have these kind of wars, not the wars which General Krishna Rao has led so capably in the earlier generations. At this point of time, let us all pray to Lord Guruji as Lord Shankara has prayed to Ma. Vasante sanande kusumita latabhi parivrute spuranna padme sarasi kalhamsali subhage sakhikhi khelantim malaya pavanandolita jale smaredyastvam tasva jwarajanita pida pasarati. తల్లి జ్వర బాధ శాంతించాలంటే ఆనందదాయకమైన వసంత ఋతువులో విరబూసిన లతలతో వికసించిన పద్మాలతో కలహంసల బారులతో కళకళ్లాడే సరోవరంలో మలయ పవన వీచికలతో మెల్లమెల్లగా కదులుతున్న జలాల్లో చెలులతో జలక్రీడలు చేస్తున్న జగన్మాతను ధ్యానించాలి. వారికి జ్వరపీడ తొలగిపోతుంది. We pray to Lord that please protect us from the fears that are enveloping the society make us strong to take the example of these eminent citizens to our daily life, to strive for excellence and to work for selfless goals which can make our nation proud and Sanatana Dharma to be an ever vibrant kind of a philosophy in our society. I thank you all for your patient hearing and your participation. I request each one of you to please partake the prasadam which is also available here today. Thank you. Janagana mana adhinayaka jaya he Bharat bhagya vidata Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jalajita Ranga Tava Shubha Name Jage Tava Shubha Ashisha Mage Gahe Tava Jaya Gadha Jana Gana Mangala Dayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He Jai Hind.